But today I thought there were some really good pockets, and there were some opportunities to make some plays, and for other reasons. We threw a goal ball that we didn't make a play on, and we had we had a third down and goal down there. We had a double post called, and the receiver broke out and didn't break in. I mean, the guy took a sack because the receiver ran the wrong route. It would have been wide open. So, those things hurt you, and that's on me. I'm not coaching good enough.
Do the 2-point conversion failures, is that part of the greater red zone struggle or something specific?
Yeah, the first 2-point conversion, they all out blitzed us, and the tight end got hung up. He should have, the outlet was to throw it in the corner of the end zone. The second one, I thought it was a good decision. We would have, we went to the right guy. The guy tackled him. We got the penalty. Then you're on the 1.5 yard line. The decision was to run the ball straight ahead of him, not throw it to make a mistake. And you run the ball, and you get stuffed a half yard short. You're in that no man's land, 1.5 yards off the ball. At that point we had a 4-point lead. The worst thing you can do is do something that leads to a 2-point swing, and so we chose to be conservative, and that was a staff decision to be conservative there, and it just didn't work out.
Was C-Rod gassed, and why was he not the back who got the ball?
That's a good question on the substitution. He was. That was right after the 70-some yard run. So and it happened earlier. He had a long run too, where he came out on a play. But C-Rod's a warrior. But yeah, I'm sure that was the reason for it.
Rich, given that Vandy came in next last in the country in passing yards allowed per game, were you just a little surprised you guys had more success in that department?
I am very surprised. I had high expectations to throw the ball today. And then, and sometimes the flow of the game, the weather, things like that. It was a lot limited possessions. They had long possessions. We had some long possessions. All of a sudden, you're in a game where you're going to have 8 total possessions. You better make them count, and we didn't in the pass game.
So I just want to make sure. So Chris took himself out.
Again, how it all played out in that moment. It was a long run.
Right.
He was on the sideline in that moment. All that I could not tell you exactly why he did not get back in the game. We called the next play. Things are happening fast. He just had a 75-yard touchdown run.
Rich, you had this answer earlier this week about how, like, in college football, what feels different is like every loss feels like the end of the world. Does this one feel maybe even more so because of that situation with Vandy's long losing streak?
Yeah, it's highly disappointing. We had a really good week of practice. We look efficient. We feel ready to go, and it's as simple as you make one more play that scores a touchdown early in the game, and everything feels different. I was happy that we responded with 2 scoring drives after they took the lead in the second half, but we can't wait to the second half to wake up. Like, it's just it's not acceptable. So.
Will was just saying that there were some guys that just weren't focused. I know you were up in the booth today, but you get a grasp on that. The guys just weren't taking Vandy seriously.
I would never say anyone didn't take anyone seriously. I mean, it's our job. Ultimately, as coaches, we prepare these guys to play. But yeah, I mean, this game will humble you. Every game is hard to win. You can never take anything for granted, and you got to be your best in every moment that counts. And I just felt like if you're not, it's going to go this way. And it was a seesaw game, and we didn't come out on top.
Kind of heard the tail end. You said that there was a play where somebody didn't run the right route, and it led to Williams. That happened multiple times, I guess, today.
Again, I'm not going to. It ultimately falls on us as coaches, getting the players ready to play. But yeah, a guy makes an MA or something like that. Ultimately it's going to, impact when the quarterback's ready to throw the football, and he goes the wrong direction. He can't, and so those things happen. But when they happen in critical moments, we got some young players that, sometimes that stuff happens. But when it happens in big moments and you come away with nothing, you can change the game.
Sorry if you're asking, sorry, but the offensive line, Will was kind of showing that frustration that he wasn't getting a ton of time in the pocket. Those were some drive killers. As we've talked about, it just kind of keeps happening. How much frustration is kind of building?
Yeah, I honestly, I think I thought he had some pretty good pockets. There was 2 all-out blitzes in the high red zone that where they're actually bringing one more than we can block. One we assignment-wise, we probably could have given him more time. I think at the end of the game, I know it was, we're in a desperation. We need a big play. We're trying to hold on to the ball with 30 seconds left and try and hit a big play down the field, and someone gets beat. There's always going to be frustration in those situations. But in the end, I thought there were some really good pockets today too. I would not put that on. Again, it's everyone, not one individual.
Is it
The quarterback, and so credit to him. He's a good player, and he's able to extend plays with his legs, and he made some really good throws with his arm today too.
Brad, was intensity a problem at all, you think?
Intensity?
Yeah, from your guys.
That's hard to tell. I felt like the guys were locked in throughout the week, but overall, I think at the end of the day, I've as a defense staff and myself calling the game, we got to put together a good game plan that they can execute from start to finish. I thought they did a nice job of we talked about turnovers, and it had been a little bit since we had gotten a couple, and we had some fourth down stop and some turnovers, but again, it came down to third down.
I was just going to ask, what's your message to the group after that performance?
Well, the message, I went up to guys both individually and then sort of within the group, and I apologize. I feel like I let them down, in terms of the plan that we had, and because ultimately it falls on me and them playing comfortable and trusting every call, and so that's what stings, maybe the most about this game, is just that I feel like I let them down, and it's the first time that we haven't come through at the end when we have a chance, in a 2-minute drill to win it on defense, that we haven't come through since I've been here, I believe. So that's what hurts, and some of those come with calls that again I wish I could have back.
Brad, have you had a chance to talk to Trayvon about that crazy play when he was flagged, the helmet thing?
I have not.
Okay. I mean, is that something where
No, they know we've talked. It's a rule and an emphasis, and it's always hard. Guys strain, and you feel silly when your helmet comes off and you just have to stop and a play still going on like that. It's against every nature that you have, but that is the rule, and it's a safety thing, and it's a smart rule from a safety perspective. So as odd as it feels, like you have to.
Well, that's what I mean. Is it somewhat of an acceptable penalty in your mind, just sort of like he didn't give up on the play, or like, well, it's still a flag?
Yeah, it's still a penalty. I don't ever, I don't question his effort on that, but the rule.
I think this is maybe the most frustrated we've seen you on the field. Is it starting to boil over a little bit?
Yeah, no, it's one thing when you're just not playing as well as the other team, but it's another thing when you're beating yourself and guys aren't doing the right thing and aren't locked in. And when that happens, it's frustrating. And I got a little more vocal with the guys today when those things happen, because that is unacceptable. We haven't seen it at a rate we did today yet this year. And the combination of that and being disappointed with myself and knowing that I can be doing better, and try to keep my calm up there, but sometimes you need that extra motivation for your guys, which I tried to step up and do today, but didn't end up working out.
What's the difference in the last touchdown drive that you had where it looked like the offense was reflecting what they had been all day? What's the difference?
I don't know. I guess our guys just decided to play harder. We didn't play hard all throughout the game, but I guess when times are needed to play hard, guys step up and play hard. So it's a matter of getting that mindset through them throughout the whole game, opposed to just one drive.
It's just playing a Vandy team that hadn't won a SEC game in a while. The guys just weren't into it.
No, not enough hype, not enough juice. We made that a point of emphasis all week, and we didn't buy into that, obviously. They did. They played hard. We knew they were going to play hard. They play hard every single game you see them play. Whether they win or lose by 50 or win, you never know when you put on their tape. We knew that about them, and we didn't match them today.
Well, it's tough to talk about now, but you still got a big game against Georgia coming up. How do you, as a leader, just kind of rally the troops a little bit?
I don't know. I've been thinking about what I want to say to the guys, but I got to look in the mirror first and what I can say to myself and what I can do and improve to myself. But if there's one point of emphasis, it's just mentality and when you're in here, when you're in practice, when you're engaged in football in any way, having the utmost attention to detail and focus and energy, no lackadaisical or just laziness by anybody.
In the first field goal drive y'all had, they had 38 yards in cases. From that point on, can you just what might go on the ride after that?
We just didn't have situations or opportunities to. I'm trying to think of plays that were supposed to be dialed up for him in the second half. But we were just in a weird spot, play calling wise, again there, just with being up by one possession or on a drive where the run just works for us, and we like that drive you're talking about. We ran it every time because it worked, and yeah, I mean, obviously he's one of our best players. We got to get him the ball more.